Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chill English Channel. I'm Sophia, and I'm really happy you are spending some time with us today.
And I'm Jake. Wherever you are listening from, maybe at home, on your way to work, sitting in a cafe, or taking a quiet walk, we hope you can relax and enjoy this conversation with us.
Today, we are talking about something almost everyone experiences, but we don't always talk about it openly.
Yes, we are talking about comparing yourself to other people and why constantly looking at someone else's life can make you forget about your own journey.
And our main idea today is very simple. Stop comparing yourself to others and learn to run at your own pace.
I really like that phrase, run at your own pace, because life sometimes feels like a race, even when nobody actually told us that we were racing.
Exactly. You open your phone in the morning, and before you even finish breakfast, you can already see someone getting married, someone buying a house, someone traveling around the world, and someone celebrating a new job.
Meanwhile, you are sitting there trying to remember where you put your keys.
Yes, and suddenly your normal morning feels like a personal failure.
It sounds funny, but it happens so easily. We see a few moments from another person's life, and immediately we start measuring our whole life against those moments.
So before we go deeper, we want to give you a question to keep in your mind while you listen.
Think about this. When was the last time you compared yourself to someone else?
Maybe you compared your English with someone who speaks more fluently.
Maybe you looked at a friend who has a better job and thought, why am I still here?
Maybe someone your age bought a house, started a business, got married, or reached a goal that you also want to reach.
And maybe a quiet voice appeared in your mind and said, I'm behind.
That sentence is so common. I'm behind.
But behind whom?
Exactly. That is the interesting question. Behind your friend? Behind your brother or sister? Behind someone you follow online?
Or behind an imaginary schedule that says where you are supposed to be at a certain age.
I think many of us carry that invisible schedule without realizing it.
We think, by this age, I should have a successful career. By this age, I should have enough money. By this age, I should know exactly what I'm doing with my life.
And when reality looks different, we start thinking that something has gone wrong.
Sophia, have you ever had that feeling?
Definitely. I remember meeting an old friend a few years ago. We had studied together, and we were around the same age, so naturally I was curious about her life.
That sounds normal.
It was. But during our conversation, she told me about her new job, her apartment, the places she had traveled to, and some exciting plans she had for the future.
And how did you feel?
At first, I was genuinely happy for her. But later, when I went home, something changed. I started comparing every part of her life with mine.
Ah, the comparison machine turned on.
Exactly. And once that machine starts, it can work very quickly. I thought, she has done this. I haven't. She has achieved that. I haven't. Maybe I wasted too much time.
Did anything actually become worse in your life that day?
No, that is the strange part. My life was exactly the same before and after that conversation.
But your view of your life changed.
Completely. Before meeting her, I had actually been feeling quite positive. I was working on things I cared about and making progress.
Then you looked at someone else's path, and suddenly your own progress seemed smaller.
Yes. And later, I realized something important. I was comparing two lives that were completely different.
Different experiences, different opportunities, different challenges.
Different personalities, different priorities, different starting points. Everything was different.
But because you were the same age, your brain said, okay, fair comparison.
Exactly. As if age were the only information that mattered.
I think we do this all the time. We compare results without comparing the full story behind those results.
And usually, we don't even know the full story.
Especially online, social media can make comparison much stronger because we see so many people in a very short time.
And usually, we see their best moments.
Someone posts the beautiful vacation photo, but they probably don't post the argument they had at the airport.
Someone posts the new job announcement, but we may not see the 50 applications they sent before getting that job.
Someone shows their successful business, but we don't see the years of uncertainty, mistakes, stress, or late nights behind it.
So we often compare our everyday reality with another person's best visible moment.
And that is not a fair comparison.
Not at all. It's like watching the final 10 seconds of someone's movie and then feeling bad because your own story is still in the middle.
I like that. Your story might simply be at a different point.
Exactly. And different does not automatically mean worse.
That is an important distinction. If someone reaches something before you, it does not mean you have failed.
Imagine two people learning English. One person studies for 2 hours every day because they currently have a lot of free time.
The other person works full-time, takes care of a family, and can only practice for 20 minutes.
After 6 months, the first person may speak more fluently.
But does that mean the second learner is lazy or unsuccessful?
Of course not. Their situations are different.
And maybe those 20 minutes require much more effort because that learner has a very busy life.
This is why context matters. Context means the situation and circumstances around something.
Without context, comparison can give us the wrong conclusion.
And there is another problem. When you compare yourself too much, you may start chasing things you don't actually want.
That is a big one.
You see someone with an impressive career, and you think, maybe I need that career.
You see someone living in a big city and suddenly you think your quiet life is boring.
Or you see someone traveling constantly, and you think, I should travel more.
Even though you secretly love staying home with tea and a good movie.
Exactly. Maybe your perfect Saturday is a blanket, tea, and absolutely no airport.
Then there is nothing wrong with that.
Comparison becomes dangerous when another person's definition of success starts replacing your own.
Because success is personal. What feels meaningful to me may not feel meaningful to you.
One person wants a big career and an exciting city life.
Another person wants a simple job, enough money, peaceful evenings, and time with family.
Neither life is automatically better.
They are simply different.
So maybe instead of asking, am I doing as well as other people, we can ask a better question.
Am I moving toward a life that actually feels right for me?
That question brings your attention back to your own path.
And once your attention returns to your own path, you can finally notice something comparison often hides from you.
Your progress.
Yes, you may not be where someone else is, but you're probably not where you used to be either.
Think about yourself 1 year ago. Maybe something that feels normal to you today was difficult back then.
Maybe you understand English now. Maybe you are more confident. Maybe you handle problems more calmly.
Maybe you learned to say no, changed a bad habit, saved some money, or simply became clearer about what you want.
These changes can be quiet, so we often forget to celebrate them.
Especially when we're too busy looking sideways at everybody else.
It reminds me of running. If you're running on a track and constantly turning your head to see where everyone else is, you stop paying attention to your own breathing and rhythm.
And you might even run into something.
With my coordination, that is very possible.
But the idea is true. Looking sideways all the time makes it harder to move naturally.
Your pace is the speed that works for you, and finding that pace requires paying attention to your own energy, situation, and direction.
Some people move quickly in one period of life and slowly in another.
Sometimes your pace changes because you're learning, healing, working, caring for someone, starting again, or simply trying to understand what you really want.
A slower season is not necessarily a wasted season.
Sometimes moving slowly is exactly what allows you to keep moving at all.
And I think this idea of pace becomes especially important when we talk about age, because age is one of the easiest ways to compare ourselves with other people.
Definitely. We often look at someone who is the same age as us and think we should be at the same place in life.
You hear that someone is 25 and already has a successful business, and suddenly you start questioning your own progress.
Or someone is 30 and buying a home while you are still trying to understand what career you actually want.
Someone gets married at 27, someone changes careers at 40. Someone starts university at 35, and someone discovers their real passion at 50.
But we often act as if there's one correct timeline for everyone.
Timeline is a useful word here. A timeline is the order and timing of events in your life.
And your timeline does not need to look like anyone else's.
Jake, did you ever feel pressure about where you should be at a certain age?
Oh, absolutely. There was a period when several people around me seemed to be moving forward very quickly.
What was happening?
Friends were getting promotions, moving to new cities, starting serious relationships, and making big plans. Meanwhile, I felt like my life was moving very slowly.
Did you feel stuck?
Yes, and the interesting thing is that I wasn't completely stuck. I was learning things and working on myself, but those changes were not very visible.
That is important. Not all progress is easy to see.
Exactly. If someone gets a new job, everyone can see it. If someone buys a house, everyone can see it. But if you become more patient, emotionally stronger, or clearer about your values, there's no big announcement.
Imagine posting, "Exciting news! I am now 17% more emotionally mature."
I would like that post immediately. But seriously, internal progress can be incredibly valuable even when nobody notices it.
And during that period, I had to learn that being in a quiet stage of life did not mean I was going nowhere. What helped you understand that?
I started looking backwards instead of sideways.
Explain what you mean.
Instead of asking, "How am I doing compared with my friends?" I asked, "How am I doing compared with myself 2 years ago?"
That changes the whole comparison.
It does. I realized I had become better at managing my time. I had learned useful skills, I was more confident making decisions, and I understood myself better.
So there was progress, but you couldn't see it while looking at everyone else.
Exactly. Comparison was hiding my own growth from me.
I think that gives us a practical idea for anyone listening. When you notice yourself comparing, stop and look backwards for a moment.
Ask yourself, what can I do now that I couldn't do 1 year ago?
Or, what situation can I handle better today?
Or even, what do I understand about myself now that I didn't understand before?
Those questions help you measure progress using your own life.
And that is usually a much healthier measurement.
Now, we should also say that comparison is not always completely negative.
Right. Sometimes another person can inspire you.
Inspiration and comparison can look similar at first, but they feel very different inside.
When you feel inspired, you see someone doing something great and think, maybe I can grow too.
But unhealthy comparison says, they are doing well, so I must be doing badly.
Inspiration gives you energy. Comparison often takes energy away.
That is a simple way to notice the difference.
For example, imagine you hear someone speaking English beautifully.
You could think, wow, I would love to speak like that. I'm going to practice more.
That is inspiration.
Or you could think, their English is so much better than mine. I sound terrible. Maybe I should stop speaking.
Same person, same situation, completely different reaction.
And we can slowly train ourselves to turn comparison into curiosity.
Instead of asking, why are they better than me? Ask, what can I learn from them?
Maybe they have practiced longer.
Maybe they have a useful habit you can try.
Maybe they made mistakes that you can learn from.
Then their success becomes information instead of evidence that you are failing.
I really like that idea.
There is another situation where comparison becomes difficult, and that is social media.
We mentioned it earlier, but I think it deserves more attention because it has become such a normal part of everyday life.
You can compare yourself with hundreds of people before you even leave your bed.
Which is honestly a strange way to begin a peaceful morning.
Very peaceful. Wake up, check your phone, and immediately discover 12 people who apparently have better lives than you.
The problem is that your brain can forget that social media is selected.
Selected means people choose what they show.
Think about your own photos. If you take 20 pictures, do you usually post the worst one?
Absolutely. I always choose the one where my eyes are closed.
Of course you don't.
No, I choose the best one.
Exactly. Most people do. And we often do the same thing with experiences. We share exciting news more often than ordinary difficulties.
So, online, you're often seeing a collection of highlights.
A highlight is one of the best or most interesting moments.
But your real life includes everything: boring mornings, mistakes, uncertainty, dishes, bills, tired days, and plans that don't work.
If you compare that complete reality with someone's highlights, your life will naturally look less exciting.
So, one practical solution is to pay attention to how certain accounts make you feel.
Yes. After spending time online, ask yourself, do I feel motivated, connected, and positive?
Or do you feel anxious, inadequate, and behind?
Inadequate means feeling that you are not good enough.
If certain content repeatedly makes you feel that way, you are allowed to create some distance from it.
You can unfollow an account, mute it for a while, or simply spend less time scrolling.
That does not mean you are jealous or that the other person did something wrong.
It can simply mean you are protecting your attention.
And your attention is valuable because whatever receives your attention starts taking space in your mind.
If you spend an hour every day looking at other people's achievements, it becomes difficult to focus on your own work.
But if you use some of that time to practice, create, learn, exercise, rest, or work toward your own goals, something changes.
You become a participant in your own life instead of an observer of everybody else's.
That is powerful because confidence often grows through action.
Not through sitting and thinking, I wish I were more confident.
Unfortunately, I tried that strategy. Very little happened.
Confidence usually grows when you keep promises to yourself.
You say you will practice for 15 minutes, and you do it.
You say you will send that application, and you send it.
You say you will exercise today, and even if you only do 10 minutes, you show up.
Every small action becomes evidence that you can trust yourself.
And when you trust yourself more, you need less proof from other people that you are doing well.
That is where running at your own pace becomes more than a nice phrase.
It becomes a daily decision to respect your circumstances while still taking responsibility for your direction.
Because running at your own pace does not mean making excuses or never challenging yourself.
It means choosing a pace that helps you make real progress without constantly judging your life by somebody else's speed.
Some days, your pace may be fast because you have energy, time, and motivation.
Other days, your biggest success may simply be doing the minimum instead of doing nothing.
And there may also be periods when you need to rest, rethink your direction, or start again.
Starting again can feel embarrassing when you're watching people who seem far ahead.
But starting again with more experience is not the same as returning to zero.
You carry lessons with you. You carry knowledge, mistakes, strength, and a better understanding of yourself.
So even when your path changes, your previous steps are not necessarily wasted.
Sometimes the road that looked like a delay was actually teaching you what you needed before you could move forward with more clarity.
And I think clarity is one of the biggest benefits of stopping comparison. When you stop watching everyone else so closely, you finally have enough mental space to ask yourself what you actually want.
Yes, because sometimes we are working very hard toward a life we never consciously chose.
Maybe you are trying to earn more money because everyone around you seems focused on money.
Maybe you are trying to move faster in your career because your friends are getting promotions.
Maybe you feel pressure to get married, buy a house, start a business, travel more, or become successful before a certain age.
But there is an important question underneath all of that. Do you actually want those things?
And if you do want them, why do you want them?
That little word why can tell you a lot.
Imagine someone says, I want to become successful.
Okay, but what does successful mean?
Exactly. Maybe success means having a high-paying job.
Or maybe it means having enough money and enough free time to enjoy your life.
Maybe success means building something meaningful.
Or having peaceful relationships, good health, and mornings that don't begin with panic.
That last one sounds pretty successful to me.
Me too.
When you define success for yourself, comparison becomes less powerful because you stop playing a game based on someone else's rules.
You create your own definition of a good life.
And then you can choose goals that actually connect with that definition.
Let's imagine two friends. One wants to become a manager and build a big career.
The other wants a flexible job that gives her more time for family, hobbies, and travel.
If the second person constantly compares herself with the first person, she may feel less ambitious.
But maybe she's not less ambitious. Maybe she simply has a different ambition.
Exactly. Ambition does not always mean wanting more money, more status, or a bigger title.
You can be ambitious about creating peace.
You can be ambitious about becoming a good parent.
You can be ambitious about learning, creativity, health, relationships, or freedom.
The important thing is that the goal belongs to you.
And once you know what matters to you, you can build a pace around your real life.
I think we should make this practical. What can someone actually do the next time they catch themselves comparing?
Good question. I would start with something very simple. Notice the thought without immediately believing it.
So if I see someone doing better than me and think, I'm falling behind, I don't have to treat that thought like a fact.
Exactly. You can say, I'm having the thought that I'm behind.
That creates a little distance.
Yes. Then ask yourself, what information am I missing?
Maybe you don't know how long that person has been working toward the result.
Maybe you don't know what support they had.
Maybe you don't know what difficulties they experienced.
And maybe you don't know what they had to sacrifice to get there.
That last one is important because every choice has a cost.
Someone may have something you want, but they may also have responsibilities or pressures you cannot see.
So be careful about wanting another person's result when you don't know the full price of that result.
Then, after you recognize the comparison, bring your attention back to yourself.
Ask, what is my next useful step?
Not, how can I catch up with everyone?
Because that question creates panic.
Instead, what can I do today that makes my own life 1% better?
Maybe you practice English for 20 minutes.
Maybe you update your resume.
Maybe you save a small amount of money.
Maybe you go for a walk instead of spending another hour scrolling.
Or maybe you finally rest because you have been pushing yourself too hard.
The right step depends on your situation.
And that brings us back to pace.
Your pace should challenge you enough to grow, but it should also respect the reality of your life.
If you always push beyond what you can maintain, you may move quickly for a short time and then completely burn out.
Burnout means becoming extremely tired mentally or physically after too much stress or work.
It's like running the first kilometer of a long race as fast as possible.
You might look impressive for 5 minutes.
And then everyone passes you while you're sitting next to a tree questioning your decisions.
Very specific example, Jake.
I have made mistakes.
A sustainable pace is different.
Sustainable means something you can continue for a long time.
If you want to improve your English, maybe studying 3 hours every day is unrealistic for your schedule.
But 20 minutes every day might be sustainable.
And 20 minutes repeated for a year can create much more progress than an extreme plan you quit after 1 week.
This applies to many areas of life.
Fitness, saving money, learning skills, building a business, creating something, or changing a habit.
Small progress can feel boring because it does not create dramatic results immediately.
But boring progress is still progress.
Actually, many meaningful changes are boring while they're happening.
You practice, you repeat, you make mistakes, you improve a little, then you do it again.
There is usually no exciting music playing in the background.
Unfortunately, real life does not always provide a motivational soundtrack.
But one day, you look backward and realize that all those small actions created a big difference.
And that's why patience matters.
Patience means being able to continue without needing immediate results.
We live in a world where we can get many things quickly, so patience can feel difficult.
You send a message and expect a quick reply. You order something and track the delivery. You search for information and get it in seconds.
But personal growth doesn't usually work that way.
There is no tracking page that says, your confidence will arrive Tuesday between 2 and 4.
I wish there were.
Growth needs repetition, experience, mistakes, reflection, and time.
And while that process is happening, someone else may seem to be moving faster.
Let them.
That's such a simple sentence.
Let them move faster. Let them celebrate their success. Their speed does not have to become your emergency.
You can be happy for someone else without turning their achievement into an attack on your own life.
Someone else winning doesn't automatically mean you are losing. Life is not one race with one finish line and only one winner.
We are moving toward different things, carrying different responsibilities, and starting from different places.
So if someone passes you in one area, you don't need to panic.
Stay connected to your direction. And maybe occasionally look back and recognize how far you have already come.
Because the version of you from a few years ago might be very proud of things you now consider normal.
Before we finish, let's review some useful vocabulary from our conversation.
The first word is pace. Your pace is the speed at which you move or make progress.
For example, I'm learning English at my own pace.
Another useful word is timeline. A timeline describes when different events happen.
You can say, everyone has a different timeline in life.
We also used the word inadequate. If you feel inadequate, you feel that you are not good enough.
For example, comparing myself with people online sometimes makes me feel inadequate.
Another important word is highlight. A highlight is one of the best or most exciting parts of an experience.
Social media often shows people's highlights instead of their complete reality.
We also talked about sustainable. Sustainable means something you can continue over a long period of time.
For example, I want to create a sustainable study routine.
And we used the word clarity. Clarity means having a clear understanding of something.
When you stop comparing yourself constantly, you may have more clarity about what you actually want.
If you want to practice these words, choose one or two and make your own sentences.
And now, think again about the question we asked near the beginning.
When was the last time you compared yourself to someone else?
Think about that person for a moment.
And instead of asking, why am I not where they are, try asking yourself something different.
What is one step I can take on my own path today?
Your answer does not need to be impressive.
Maybe your step is studying for 10 minutes.
Maybe it is sending one email, reading 2 pages, applying for one opportunity, or taking care of yourself today.
Small steps count because your life is built from ordinary days, not only big moments.
And remember, you do not need to move at the speed of your friends, coworkers, classmates, brothers, sisters, or people you see online.
Their path belongs to them.
And your path belongs to you.
If you want to practice your English, tell us in the comments, what is one area of your life where you want to stop comparing yourself with others?
You can write, I'm learning to run at my own pace because...
Complete that sentence in your own words. It's a simple way to practice English while also thinking about your own life.
And if you are learning English and sometimes feel discouraged because another learner speaks better than you, remember this too.
Their progress does not cancel yours.
Every conversation you understand, every new word you remember, and every time you speak, even when you feel nervous, is part of your progress.
You do not need perfect English today.
You only need to keep using it.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us here on Chill English Channel.
We hope this conversation gave you useful English, but also a little more confidence in your own journey.
Stop checking whether everybody else is ahead of you.
Look at your own road.
Choose your direction.
Take your next small step.
And most importantly, give yourself permission to grow at a pace that makes sense for your life.
Keep learning, keep moving, and keep running at your own pace. We'll see you again on Chill English Channel.